we interrupt this program with a special report.
I got a message for all you folks out there in Radio Land, so sit tight and bend an ear.
Welcome back, everyone, to another week of the Manga Monday Show. My name is Ben. Welcome back, everyone, to another week of the Manga Monday Show. My name is Ben, and I'm with my co-host
Edgar.
Edgar
There's
is here. Edgar, we got some sponsors today,
We do.
but the sponsors is us. We're the sponsors.
We need to get new sponsors, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not getting paid for one thing.
Yeah, we are.
And it's the same thing every day.
Yeah,
No
but
product.
we have three things for you guys today, okay? Number one, be sure to like and subscribe. If you are interested in all the projects, things, interests, TV shows, movies coming out of Japan, we are here. The Manga
Everything.
Monday Show is here. Everything. Go into our Instagram, go into our Spotify, follow us on all of that stuff. The second thing is that last Friday, we just had one of our best videos, in my opinion, come out, the Romance Dawn arc. Me and Edgar did a review that we're calling the Half-Blind One Piece review series. Go and check that out. That's the beginning.
We can both see. We're not blind.
Yes.
Ben's read it, I haven't. That's
Yes,
the joke.
Exactly. that's the joke.
We're not missing eyes or anything.
Exactly. In my opinion, it's the best edited video that we've had.
Probably
And-
took a lot of work, I'm going to
Yes,
assume.
it took a lot of work, but it's really cool. We got a lot of cool things looking with the comics and stuff. Like
Yeah.
we have panels, and then the speech bubbles come up. And
Toei,
it's yeah.
please don't copyright
No,
us.
they're not gonna copyright us. You want to know why? Because I took it from an alternate website that they don't have, anything about. But anyway,
They'll try.
So yeah, and then the third one, Edgar, me, we are also manga creators, comic book creators, and light novel creators.
Yes,
so
we
in the
are.
description below, if you want to go on there, I just released my first ever one shot, and Edgar, I don't
I
know
have
if you-
something coming up. Don't
you
worry.
have
You
some-
know, hey,
he has something coming out soon.
Yes.
So we're going to put those links down below if you're interested in this stuff. This is why we created this podcast, is to just make more of
Yeah.
these stuff, just to become more.
We're not all talk.
Yeah, we're not all
We're not
talk,
just gonna
yeah.
criticize. We're gonna try to do, the job.
exactly. I feel like we're more praise than criticize.
Yeah.
But,
we get into it sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's all love all around here.
Yeah, of course. But we're doing this just to learn more, so that eventually we can go into this field as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all of your support as always. Now let's get on,
And we'll see you
with
next week.
The show, yeah. So let's get on with the show. Edgar, just real quick, because we got a big news week this week with
And a big
Anime
topic.
Expo,
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and a huge topic this week. Edgar, just real quick, what you been doing this week? What have you been reading?
Reading, nothing much, all the same. What I've been doing. Oh, I just kind of got hooked into Overlord.
Oh, great.
Its new season just came out. It's a great show. I'm actually really into it. It's an isekai. A guy gets sucked into a video game.
Of course.
Ben, you would really like it. It's a fantasy world, and
Oh, really?
I hear that the lore is really good.
The
and-
lore.
The lore, as usually fantasy stuff goes, I'm getting really into it.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say it did? Oh yeah, I built my PC. It finally works now.
Yeah.
After painstakingly watching a bunch of YouTube videos and whatnot. I can't wait to play games with the gang, with Ben and others. Other than that, nothing much. I've just been waiting for this One Punch Man chapter that I've been pretty hyped about. Nothing else new that I'm trying to remember. Ben, move on to you.
Yeah, sorry, I
you're
was trying
good.
to sign into my email. I was like, keep talking, but no, I can go real quick. Yeah, I'm pretty much reading the same things. Like I said, I'm reading a whole bunch of stuff. I actually bought my first ever Japanese manga yesterday.
Which one?
And Jujutsu Kaisen, because
Which volume?
The first one. So I asked the counter, and I said, "What's a good one to start with?" And they said, "Try and find one that has a lot of slang and young
Yeah.
people, talking in the now." And I'm like, "Oh, Okay. And I was like, Jujutsu Kaisen. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to memorize all the kanji symbols and all that stuff. And as I'm doing it, I'm just going to have one page open and then another page and then the English volume open and then see how they, see how they translate and all that stuff and go from there. So I'm spending about 1.5 to 2 hours
It's a
every
quick
day
way.
on that.
It's
So,
a pretty easy way to learn. I think I heard somebody say that's another way to learn, because you do want to be careful with like the formalities, and there's also stuff you need to be careful like with, slang. But that is how Jujutsu Kaisen's like pretty grounded, pretty modern. Like I could imagine that that's how they talk. They don't always talk like that. You know what I mean?
yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. I mean, I'm in this part of my career where I'm like waiting for things to happen. I don't know. I might have to start taking the initiative. Like I might have to move somewhere else.
You
I
are,
might
man.
have to do.
You
Yeah.
finished your one shot. That's like great. I know you've been
Right,
hyping that
right.
up. And
I'm talking more about the acting stuff.
Oh,
but,
I see what you mean.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I keep on applying, and it's just I feel like that I'm just like speaking into a cave where nobody's there, so I might have to move to a different cave.
yeah, you gotta move caves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one doesn't have enough sunlight, or the rocks
Yeah.
don't feel as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah.
Dwayne the Rock,
Yeah.
Chris Rock,
Chris Rock.
Will Smith slap.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Will
just
Smith.
I'm making brain connections.
You're
over here.
doing like one of those Google speed runs where they like. Have you seen those Google speed runs?
Oh, like were you like on Wikipedia and you try to link?
Yeah, and you
It's
like
like-
start from Shrek to like I don't know
the Queen Elizabeth
yeah,
or
the
something
Queen
like that.
Elizabeth or something.
It's probably
like
Mike
that.
Myers is gonna be in there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's
exactly.
met the Queen.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much going on with the lives. Pretty slow week in our lives,
Yeah.
but a lot of stuff happened
Lot of stuff.
this week. Ben, we have a separate segment because there's a lot of announcements that happened in the Anime Expo, but
Yes.
we're gonna talk about stuff that didn't happen then. So you gotta start us off with some
Yes,
news.
so let's start off with something actually really sad. The creator of the world-renowned manga and anime, the man who has spurred a cultural phenomenon creating multiple side video games and more popularly, one of the biggest trading card games on the planet, Kazuki Takahashi, Yu-Gi-Oh's manga creator, passes away at 60. Yeah.
What? I
awful.
never played Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Yeah.
I knew Yu-Gi-Oh was huge.
I just ordered the first volume
If-
in his honor, by the way.
Yeah, that's
because
nice.
I'm gonna read
If
it.
you didn't play Pokemon, you played Yu-Gi-Oh, or vice versa. You know, it's just it was that big.
I watched Yu-Gi-Oh a lot as a kid. I
It
don't
was-
remember any of it.
It's
but,
one of
you know.
those shows that when most kids watched, they probably had no idea what anime was. It was on there because Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh were so heavily marketed to the West that it was like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like most people don't go play or are so into Pokemon, it just doesn't cross their minds. Oh yeah, this is like Japanese, like
Yeah.
based. But what happened? What that sucks.
So the Japanese Coast Guard, and when I read this, I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do they have to do about this?"
Yeah.
And they found the manga creator Kazuki Takahashi, real name Kazoi Takahashi, off the coast of Nagao City in Okinawa on the morning on Wednesday, July 6th. He was 60 years old. The Coast Guard reportedly found Takahashi equipped with snorkeling gear. Both the Coast Guard and police are currently investigating the events that led up to Takahashi's death. A person on a passing boat had called Japan's maritime hotline to report an apparent body floating 300 meters, about 1,000 feet from the coastline
What?
off the resort of Nagao at about 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday.
So he drowned?
So
Apparently?
yeah. I mean, he had snorkeling gear. His gear might have been defective,
By himself? Like
or
that's,
yeah.
What? I mean, you said that you told me beforehand that it was gonna be odd and like usually because drowning and like is usually not a death even with anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like by yourself, even with gear. So like something, I guess, just something went wrong, or that is just a bizarre way. I was expecting something.
I mean,
kind of.
he is older. He's 60 years old and he's
Yeah.
snorkeling. And these
Shouldn't
manga
be by-
creators aren't the healthiest bunch in the world. You
Yeah.
know. Yeah. You know what? Manga creators need to do some more yoga.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Something not as extreme as snorkeling.
Yeah.
Snorkeling, then again, isn't that extreme. But then again, you
No.
probably shouldn't be doing it by yourself.
By
That-
yourself, definitely not. You
Yeah.
should never go snorkeling by yourself, guys.
I
Don't
have
do
a.
that.
I don't have a. What do you call it? The phobia of water, deep waters, or like what's in water.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
what
don't
it's
have
called.
that, but
Yeah.
even then, like was deep diving or snorkeling, I'd want
Yeah,
somebody like like
Yeah,
after me.
always.
That is unfortunate. That
Um,
does suck.
Yeah.
Um,
So Takahashi's Yu-Gi-Oh manga ran in Weekly Shonen Jump from 1996 to 2004. The manga launched an international hit franchise that continues to this day with card games, animes, toys, and newer manga series. Takahata won Comic-Con's International Inkpot Award in July 2015. The award recognizes individuals for outstanding contributions to comics, science fiction, and fantasy, film, television, animation, and fandom. So yeah, the man who has spurred on a legacy that will last throughout the ages is now gone. And we're getting to that age where that stuff is starting to happen, which is really, really sad.
I just saw on Twitter, Murata, the artist for One Punch Man, tweeted, "I thought I would say hello someday, but I'm sorry that I couldn't see you in the end. Sensei Takahashi, I pray for your soul." That sucks. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on.
Yeah, that was like the only sad news, right?
Yeah, that was, well, this one's a little bit sad, but in a different vein.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get the bad and then the good next.
Toei, no, this is bad also.
Oh, okay.
Toei Animation considers legal action against illegally recorded uploads of Dragon Ball Super superhero footage. Which, I mean,
it is illegal.
To be fair, it is illegal.
But like, you don't hear it like Disney or like any other company like suing people because of piracy.
It's just so interesting that it says consider. Like, they should. Like here's the thing, they should take it down. Like, I don't know about legal action. They should take it off YouTube, which is, they should just take it down. But they already do this with like
minor stuff.
With minor stuff, but somehow in YouTube's algorithm, 2 hours of movie footage just
exists there for like ever.
Them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Toei Animation revealed on Monday that it has identified about 3,000 cases of illegally recorded footage uploads of Dragon Ball Super Superhero, the second anime film in the Dragon Ball Super franchise, on various platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, 10 days after the film's opening. According to Toei, the number of cases is about 10 times that of the previous film, Dragon Ball Super Broly. And Dragon Ball Super Broly was bad, by the way.
What do you mean?
Dragon Ball Super Broly had like hundreds of
Oh, I thought you meant the movie sucked.
No. It was an amazing film, but it had so many sub that were just like, I remember there was just the film uploaded on YouTube, perfect HD, 1040p. You were just like, what is going on?
By the way you're describing it, I'm going to assume that half the world's already seen this new movie.
Yes, exactly. They have. They have. The company added that it is looking into legal actions against these uploads and is eyeing the matter as both a criminal and civil case. It's a bit much, but okay. Toei has also filed a request with the respective platforms to remove the illegally uploaded footage. How is this still up, YouTube?
It's Dragon Ball. I don't know if it's Toei and people like with their stuff, or if it's Dragon Ball fans, because considering how Demon Slayer it's still the biggest anime movie ever in Japan and like the world, I never heard about any of that stuff happening with that movie, or any of My Hero stuff or Ghibli movies. Obviously, Dragon Ball is like a different breed, but the biggest movie, Demon Slayer, didn't happen with this, and just Dragon Ball fans just constantly like do this stuff with previous movies and now this one again, and just like causing mayhem all over.
I think it might be because Toei Animation is so strict about it. It's like when your parents say no and you're like, well, now I want to do it more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. So what they're filing for, right? Or what they're filing against is against 3,000 people, right? And people who violate this law in Japanese Copyright Act and its Act on Prevention of Unauthorized Recording of Films and the General Copyright Law, they would face up to 10 years in prison and up to 10 million yen, which is about $73,000 in fines.
Can you imagine
both
going to jail for Dragon Ball, like for like the dumbest reason? Like,
that's absurd.
Just like pay like $12 or so just to watch it with people like around you. Obviously, a lot of people don't like going to movie theaters. You can obviously stream at some point. I don't know. Even then, it's just going this far to like constantly do it and like, lose hype. It's just bizarre to me that it happens specifically only with this series.
Yeah.
Y'all Dragon Ball fans broke or impatient. Y'all crazy.
So this is the last one that was pre-Anime Expo.
Yeah.
And I actually have to check and make sure this wasn't Anime Expo so that we can do it separately. But this is the biggest news article of today.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Solo Leveling, Edgar?
Yeah, that was announced at the
Yeah. Solo Leveling anime officially announced coming 2023 from Aniplex and Crunchyroll. I saw a meme earlier today that was, in Thor Ragnarok where she's like, "You can't beat me." I know, but he can.
Yeah.
That meme, and it was Chainsaw Man, and it was like, "You can't beat me," and Thor was other upcoming animes, and I'm like, I know, but he can.
Yeah.
And out came Solo
Yeah.
Leveling. This is actually
This is-
yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I just want
Yeah.
to preface if this is the last news that Ben has. We're gonna get into it because this was announced at the Anime Expo.
It was?
Yeah, this was at the
I'm
panel.
so sorry.
No, that's okay. But that means we're just gonna jump
I
straight
thought
in.
It wasn't. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It was rumored-
This is the last.
Yeah.
Or this was supposedly the last non-anime expo. So this is.
Yeah.
This is anime.
I was gonna
Expo.
start with this regardless.
Yeah,
But I know for a fact that this was officially announced. It was probably rumored like way back then. It was getting rumored that A1 Pictures, which
Yeah.
they are animating it, which they did predict. So that leak
wow.
was confirmed.
Yeah.
A1 Pictures is animating it.
I never thought it would be animated. Cause have you read it? Like it's so gorgeous.
I haven't read it. I bought the light novel. Well, it's not a light novel. It's technically a novel. I bought the Korean novel, which is translated in English, and I also have the manhwa. So, and what's interesting is with the recent trend in animating manhwas, this is the first one with an original novel source.
Yeah.
So I wonder which one. I don't know how accurate the manhwa follows the novel, so I'm wondering which one they're gonna stick to more faithfully. Obviously, they're gonna follow the animation based off the character designs of the manhwa.
Yeah.
But I don't. If the manhwa differs a little bit from the novel, which one are they gonna choose? I have yet to read either, so I wouldn't know.
think it's the manhwa. The manhwa is
Yeah.
the big one,
And
that
usually-
everybody's interested.
Yeah,
in.
because usually when it comes to light novel adaptations, they follow the light novel. Even though light novels always get manga adaptations, and manga adaptations aren't as popular as the light novels.
Yeah.
So this is like an opposite case because everyone knows the manhwa, and everyone's been hyping up because of how great the manhwa was.
Yeah, no kidding.
A lot of hype. A1 Pictures animated Sword Art Online, Fairy Tail, Love is War, a lot of other big shows. And another one is that Hiroyuki Aswano will compose the soundtrack, the same composer for Attack on Titan.
Hey.
And Seven Deadly Sins. Say what you will about the anime, but the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, did 86.
That's great.
A lot of hype. This is like,
Yeah.
if not for Chainsaw Man or... There's too many songs. There's a lot of
Yeah.
This is a lot of, but
It's
this
hard.
is like...
Yeah, this is going to be hard to reach to that point of Chainsaw Man, and there's going to be one reason why, and I'll tell you why that is.
Yeah.
But let me read out everything that happened and all
Okay.
that stuff. So, adapted from the digital comic series published by Tappytoon of the same name of Dubu Redai Studio, Chunggong and H. Goon, the anime series was revealed alongside an official teaser key visual and the premiere of the English subtitled teaser PV with A1 Pictures, Sword Art Online, Kageyumi-sama, Love is War, producing the series with the direction of Shunsuke Nakashigi. A special illustration was also revealed to commemorate the announcement, as well as a message from the original creator. Translated here, Chunggong says, about 6 years ago, when I was writing the very beginning of Solo Leveling, if someone had said to me, the novel you wrote will become a comic, I bet I'd have told them to stop pulling my leg. But now I'm told that it'll be animated? Seriously, stop pulling my leg. But these days, I'm feeling excited and thrilled. Since I'm still half doubting that this is real, I want to see Jinwoo and the other characters get animated soon and feel relieved. I'll keep working diligently while looking forward to that day. LOL. Then Dubu, who's the other creator, said, Solo Leveling is finally making its anime debut. It feels like only yesterday that we got the offer for the anime adaptation. I feel so overwhelmed when I think that the anime is really being created right now. This is all thanks to the fans who love and support Solo Leveling. I'm filled with gratitude. Thank you very much. Also support the animation and production team. If this anime gives new enjoyment to the readers, I'll be very happy.
Yeah. This is big news, to say the least. I know people have been hyping up just the series even before the anime.
Yeah.
A1 Pictures is a goated and underrated anime studio. I feel like every other anime studio other than Ufotable or MAPPA is getting swept under the rug just because of the hype behind MAPPA and Ufotable. And people forget stuff like A1 Pictures. But the only thing I had to worry is that the most recent manhwa anime adaptations have been not so accurate or great, because Tower of God, I heard, left a
Yeah.
lot of stuff out, and the pacing was like, I've seen it, so I think it was good, but I kept hearing from manhwa readers that it left out a lot of stuff, and the pacing
Yeah.
was issues, and it was exposition dumps. And then with what was it? The fighting, what was that one? Fighting God of High School.
God of High School.
God of
yeah.
High School was like the adaptation was like completely different from the manhwa, and like
Really?
it left a bunch of stuff out, and it was
Huh.
confusing, for anime watchers. So they said to just go read the manhwa. And I think there was another manhwa adaptation that I'm forgetting right now that was also not done as well.
Jeez, just call
So-
us the Manhwa Monday show.
Yeah, so it didn't look great for
Yeah.
manhwa adaptations, but even among the manhwa verse, there was one that stood out. Even if the manhwas were good originally, there was always one that stood out, and I kept hearing about, like, that they said they couldn't mess up because of how good it was, and the story is finished. So
done.
Solo Leveling, you got to read Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is perfect all around. Solo Leveling's already done, so they can't mess it up. Solo Leveling needs a good adaptation.
I actually heard different. I heard that it was never going to get an adaptation because of how hard it would have been.
I heard that. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I heard. But
Yeah.
that they were saying if anything deserves it because of how
Yeah.
perfect it is and how it's finished and all that, it's Solo Leveling. But people were also saying no, it has to be perfect. It has to be animated 100% well. So I am looking forward to this. I don't know if I'll read it beforehand. Like I said, I bought the novel, so I really want to read it, just the novel and then read the manhwa. But I'm like have to pick and choose now because I want to, get ahead. Or I
Yeah.
can just watch it blindly. That'd be a great experience.
Yeah. So just real quick, another reason why a lot of people thought that this wasn't going to be turned into an anime
Yeah.
is because it shines, and this is something we haven't seen from an anime. At least I haven't seen. It shines Japan in a bad light, and that has been causing some controversy in Japan
Within the
about-
story?
where they contradict, or they see Japan as like this.
What did they just say? Mention Pearl Harbor like 100 times or something?
No. So this is like, we don't want to categorize all of Japan, but a lot of times the Japanese, they're people of high pride, and they don't really take insults.
So are
really
Americans,
well.
and we
Yeah,
tend to
of course.
we tend to represent countries in a bad light. With the Mexico yellow tint all the time, or anywhere in the Middle East, we always put like fruit carts apparently everywhere. So we're not the best at representing other countries in our literature. So
Yeah, I'm reading this Reddit post right now that was 7 months ago, and this person said, when it comes down to it, the only reason Solo Leveling will never get an anime adaptation is because of the Japanese. Well, joke's on you.
It'd be funny if they purposely made the enemy bad just in spite of what the story did to Japan. He's like, we're gonna give you the worst adaptation ever. We're gonna hype it up so much, and we're gonna smash it to the ground. That's what you get for trashing on Japan.
Yeah, like there's an arc called the Japan Crisis arc that I hear has a lot of controversy in it. But yeah,
That sounds like a cool name.
it
Japan
does.
Crisis arc.
The Japan Crisis arc. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, that's do you want to do like a little 1-2-1-2 thing as we're talking about Anime Expo? Do you have like a big intro for it? Anime Expo.
Yeah, so this along, just to reiterate, quiet down. Just to reiterate, Solo Leveling was announced at the Anime Expo.
Woo!
It kind of snuck up on me. I knew I was following one podcast that was gonna, premiere and have a panel at this.
Yeah.
But as it was showing up, it kind of looked really fun. But the beginning looked chaotic because they oversold the tickets apparently, and the crowds were like ginormously huge and way too packed.
Oh no.
To a point where like, I don't want to go to that. And everyone was making jokes like, oh, half the people only took a shower or something like that.
Oh my god.
Typical anime fans being stinky. So, but for the most part, it looked a lot of fun because you can see a lot of cosplayers. You saw like people just having fun. Crunchyroll had a bunch of like
like
stuff.
and subscribe so that we get invited.
Yeah, exactly.
So that we can get invited and give news to you.
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Usually I'm not one for wanting to go to conventions because you know
Right.
I just don't see any light. But it looks really fun because like people just dressing up and then going to panels where they announce all this stuff.
Right.
It's like usual Comic Con. It just looks fun, and I know one of my favorite podcast Trash Taste. They had their own panel there and they did a
Oh,
Q&A.
really? That's great. That's
Their
great.
line was ginormous as well, so I
Oh,
was following
sure,
that.
Sure, they're huge.
Sword Art Online had their 10th anniversary celebration panel where the Dubcast showed up and they did like a poll voting and all that. So a lot of fun stuff. So you can be like involved with the anime community directly because a lot of Dubcasts tend to go to those things.
Yeah.
I just if there was one near here, I think there was one in Fort Worth, but I couldn't go to it. But not now because of this. If there was one near here, I'd like to go. Ben, like, could probably like just like walk around and just see like all the cool cosplays and whatnot,
Yeah.
buy merch and whatever. It looks fun. But obviously, what we have here for news is like all the announcements that showed up because there was a lot. So I might as well just put this entire segment under like the AX announcements timestamp. So
Oh yeah.
Ben, do you want to start off?
Yeah,
and, like,
sure.
kinda riff off?
I'll start off with some stuff.
Yeah.
Official Mob Psycho Twitter account says it's really sad after opening was leaked after AX panel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mob Psycho 3 had their panel.
Yeah.
All they revealed was an visual art, and the opening.
Yeah.
I don't think a new trailer was announced from their end. We've only gotten 2 trailers.
Yeah. So they said the Mob Psycho 100 franchise's official Twitter account commented on leaked information. It wrote, "I appreciate those who followed our request not to record and upload the
Yikes.
opening. Those who did, well, we are just really sad."
Oh man,
Man.
I saw it.
Uh,
because I saw it and saw people
yeah.
hyping. Either way, I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna be watching it. I really look forward to it. I was telling Ben that I wasn't that hyped for. I love Mob Psycho. I think it's an amazing anime. It just didn't hit my like top 10. It's like not one of my favorites, but I would recommend it highly to people.
It's top 3 for me. It is. Yeah. It's
Really?
Yeah, dude. I love Mob. It's one of the reasons.
We
like,
need to make a list. I keep forgetting
Yeah.
what's your top 3, and you're like, oh, it's top 5.
Don't worry.
And I'm
We'll,
like,
we should like when we hit a milestone, we'll do that. Like
Yeah.
we should hold that off.
either way,
Like,
I'm curious and I want to know because
Once
I feel
again,
like
and subscribe if you want to see that.
otherwise we're just vamping it to the same 4
Subscribe.
people.
Yeah, please.
Uh,
no,
but-
just kidding.
But I really look forward to it because
Yeah.
after I heard the opening, it just gave me like an immense amount of hype.
Yeah.
I don't want to say go look at the video. If you happen to stumble upon it, just whatever. But don't go after it. In
Yeah.
respect of what the creators said now. Either way, I am very much hyped for it and really looking forward to the 3rd season. It is another big contender in the fall anime season.
Oh.
Animated by Studio Bones again. And
Two big studio bones.
yeah,
hitter.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero, yeah.
I don't think they had a panel for it. Either way, I don't think there was any new announcements for My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't
Yeah.
know if the Dubcast will return. They still haven't made an announcement.
Yeah.
I hope
We'll see.
that the same Dubcast returns.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
definitely. So yeah, Mob Choir, who did all the openings, are gonna perform the anime opening theme song 1. Crunchyroll previewed the full opening sequence for the anime's 3rd season during the panel. So yeah, and Mob Psycho has always had top tier openings.
This should be the end, right? Because the manga is finished. This should cover everything.
We'll see.
Because I kept hearing that there wasn't enough content for a 3rd season.
I think that's why they did the Reagan Arataka one shot.
And people were speculating that
that-
this would just be a movie. We would only get a movie because that's all we have from it.
I don't think. Yeah, I think that's where I think a lot of people are forgetting that Mob Psycho's seasons. It's really out of place in the manga. Like in the
Like they rearranged it?
where the 2nd season is. You remember that episode where Mob goes to like the basket and Reagan dresses up as like a girl and he's like, "I'm just on my way to class."
That's like
you
the
know?
1st season. Yeah,
Yeah, that's in
second
the 1st
episode.
season. It's like at the end of the 2nd season in the manga.
Really?
Yeah, in that time period. So they do switch some stuff
Yeah,
around.
'cause there's
and there-
episodic stuff,
Yeah.
so where anything could just fit anywhere.
Yeah, and there are some parts in that 1st season, the 2nd season that aren't there. So I think a lot of people are forgetting that. But I think they did that Reagan one shot to expand it just to get that 12 episodes. Does that mean it's after this? Does that mean it's the end of Mob Psycho? Maybe, But I mean, the fact that they are still making One Punch, that they are still, who's to say that they won't come back and continue the series if they feel like it, you know? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
You know?
but I mean, but there's no more content from the manga.
No, no,
so
no.
why-
After this, it's probably going to be done.
I would say why adapt unless the manga keeps going. I would
Yeah.
probably just leave it as B because it's one of those series that I know is going to be like
no. Yeah.
a 3-season perfect. Like just keep it. Like
yeah,
you know,
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying keep doing it. I'm saying like if the manga, if one is like, oh, I got more ideas from Mob Psycho.
Okay, then
do
yeah.
it, and then
Then, yeah.
adapt that.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So I'm very much looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
Edgar, give us one of yours.
This one could be really quick because I know nothing of this, but it is huge. I just don't know how huge because again I don't know. Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood
Yeah.
War, comes back. A big 3 anime returns. Boruto doesn't count because it's not the same. One Piece is still ongoing.
Yeah.
Bleach's manga ended, I believe, but its anime
Yeah,
was
Bleach's manga ended years ago.
yeah, but its manga cut short. I don't know how abruptly or how much was left, how much content there is left, but there was a new PV revealed. It is being the new animation is like much. I don't know when the anime ended, but it was like years ago. To where like even the latest episode of that that series looks like relatively old.
Yeah, so
it's a huge jump in animation and quality.
yeah, that's a good question. All the episodes finished in 2014 for the
Yeah.
anime.
Yeah, so it's a while ago.
Yeah, and
not
the
that
manga
old, but-
ended in 2012. So yeah, but yes. So in these parts, I have a little bit more information about this.
Okay.
So the video highlighted Stern Ritter, who's of course one of the main characters, and it talks about the 1,000-Year Blood War, which is the final arc of the manga, which covers volumes 55 to 74. It's
That's a big
24
arc.
volumes for one arc. Dear, you think One Piece
I know.
is Dressrosa bad? Wano bad?
I
this
think-
is wow.
But I hear a lot of hype about it, and that
Yeah.
I hear that it's the best arc. So
Yes.
if anything I know about Bleach is that the anime is notoriously bad for
Yes.
so much filler beyond belief
Mm-hmm.
that they always say just read the manga or skip all the filler. But I know that it's probably worse, if not the same as One Piece. But I hear it's probably worse. So
Yes.
now that it's done. We don't need any filler. If we put filler in this new anime, so help me God, there will be. We will riot.
Yeah. But yes, like I do completely agree with you, and the fact that the person who created Bleach also did a one shot, I guess to maybe complete the ending, because I think a lot of people have issues with the ending of the manga as well, but I know for a fact people have issues with the ending of the anime. I hear the anime dropped the ball hard.
Did they end it as an anime ending, or did they just end it open-endedly? It'll continue.
I don't think they ever got to this part of the story, but I think that they finished it before, and fans were like, "What?
Yeah.
Like what?
because
Why?"
I know
Yeah.
absolutely nothing about this, but
Yeah,
it is huge news and is another big contender
Yes.
for the fall anime season.
Oh boy.
Another big one. But it is going to be a blast from the past for people. Like, hey, 2 big 3 anime airing at the same time. Isn't that crazy?
Well, yeah, when fall comes around, we really need to. We should have a dedicated episode where we talk in depth about everything, because you got Spy Family coming out in October as well.
Yeah, we do.
You know, so you
Um,
got everything coming out.
But I have,
yeah.
but obviously we can't. We need to get into Bleach before we can watch Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yes, of course.
I'll
of
probably
course.
just read the manga, but I'm reading One Piece, and then after that, I promised myself I would pick up Naruto again. So Bleach is like back there. Like,
Well, if you read Naruto, I'll read Naruto with you, because I've never read it or
Yeah.
seen it.
yeah, because I need to read both, all of them.
Yeah, I should.
I have to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this does give me some interest in Bleach. So
yeah, we really need to get the big 3 locked down while having a manga podcast, because that's not
Can we
good.
call ourselves manga connoisseurs if we
Yeah.
haven't read the big 3?
Exactly.
Obviously, you can enjoy manga,
of
but
course.
what else? Ben, you got something?
Yeah, there's this poker themed high card anime that was revealed at the convention. Have you heard about this?
Kakegogiri or something?
Yeah, something like that. Oh no, it's called yeah.
It's a spin-off version, right?
I don't know. It's I just read a poker themed high card anime reveals, promo video, cast, staff, all that stuff. It's gonna be done by TMS Entertainment, Dr. Stone, and Lupin the Third.
Does it look like this, or did he see this, something like this? Because this is the poker anime I know, Kakegurui with the red suits and all that.
No, it was with dudes, I think.
Then
from
I
what
guess it's
saw.
different. Well, either way, this one was a gambling anime that I knew was somewhat popular, and
Yeah.
I saw cards, and I'm like, oh, it's poker, so maybe that's what I'm talking about. But this might be something else different. Either way, Ben.
Yeah,
keep going.
Kadokawa describes the story. From what I see, I don't know if this is.
It
a
sounds
manga
new just based off
adaptation.
that, so I don't think it's the same.
After discovering that his orphanage was on the brink of closing due to financial stress, Finn, who was living freely on the streets, set out for a casino with the aim of making fortune. However, nothing could have prepared Finn for the nightmare that was awaiting him. Once there, Finn encountered a car chase and a bloody shootout caused by the man's lucky card. Finn will eventually learn that the shootout was about the world order. The world order can be controlled by a set of 52 X playing cards with the power to bestow different superhuman powers and abilities to ones that possess them. With these cards, people can access the hidden power of the buddy that can be found within themselves. There is a secret group of players called High Card who have been directly ordered by the King of Fourland to collect the cards that have been scattered throughout the kingdom while moonlighting as employees of the luxury car maker Pinocchio.
Pinocchio?
No, it's Pinocchio. It's pronounced Pinocchio.
Okay.
Scouted to become the group's fifth member, Finn soon joins the players on a dangerous mission to find these cards. All you need in life are manners, dignity, and the will to bet on your own life.
Okay. Well, this sounds nothing based off what I know from this other anime.
Yeah,
so it sounds
yeah.
new and it sounds different.
So it's basically just like poker, but if you lose, you die, I guess.
You know how there's sports anime? What about card games or tabletop
Yeah.
games anime? I want to see a battleship anime, not like actual battleships like that atrocious movie. I'm talking about just people playing the game Battleship, and it's gonna be like a
Right.
mind game, like Death Note.
Right.
Like
Why do you have to remind me of that terrible movie?
What, the one with Rihanna?
Yeah. Why? And who else was in that movie?
They put
What-
aliens in that movie.
But it wasn't another big pop star in it. Wasn't like Harry Styles in it or something? Who else was
no,
in
that
it?
was Dunkirk.
That was Dunkirk.
But I'm looking it up right
Okay.
now.
Do you just want me to? Because I got one more, and that's it.
Oh yeah. Liam Neeson was in that movie.
Liam Neeson was in it.
But that's
How
not.
dare you?
Yeah, Rihanna was in it.
How dare you put Liam Neeson in that
I don't
awful movie?
Think there's any pop stars in it. Rami Malek was in that movie. What the heck, man? They really.
You know,
yeah.
Rami Malek was in Legend of Korra.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Who
There
did
was
he
a
play?
lot of Aubrey Plaza was in it too.
Alex Skarsgård was in Battleship. Jesse
Yeah.
Plemons was in. Wow, they had a good cast, but that
Yeah.
movie sucked. Battleship. But
Battleship was
but what were you going to say? Rami Malek was in Legend of Korra. You
awful.
said?
Legend of Korra.
Who did he
yeah.
play?
He played. So you remember in the first season when she was like learning how to be a pro bender in that pro bending arena?
Yeah.
One of the things in Korra that I really liked, pro bending.
That was a cool sport to introduce.
Yeah. And Rami Malek was one of the guys who he was like a super tough. He was like the guy who talked like this all the time, and he was like.
Was he like just an opponent team or?
Yeah, he was like the opponent team. He was the best pro bending team.
Okay,
That-
I need to
yeah.
rewatch it.
You
Or
don't-
should I finish it?
You don't need to. No.
Yeah, I don't think I should.
I don't think. I think we should rewatch Avatar and talk about it on the show, and then maybe watch Korra if our hearts are up to it.
Yeah. I've seen
know.
I've seen enough Avatar. I need to probably wait another year or two for me
Yeah.
to get back into Avatar because I rewatched it so much when it came back on Netflix that one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm kind of burned out of it.
We got to get ready for those 3 new movies. you
Yeah.
know.
I'm ready to watch them. Yeah.
And the live action, maybe.
yeah, the
anyway,
Netflix, I forgot
that's
about
coming
that.
out. Kill me. Anyway.
I got big. I'll
yeah,
riff
go
off.
ahead.
I'll riff off of that.
Go riff off.
So the
Go
Duffer
off, Kim.
Brothers, yeah, right. The Duffer Brothers recently announced that that they'll be making another live adaptation of Death Note.
Oh.
Yeah, the Duffer Brothers, Stranger Things creators.
Woo!
All I'm gonna say, guys, if this is gonna happen, if you're gonna hold a gun to our heads and bring us another live adaptation of this, just bring back Willem Dafoe. That is the only good. I'll keep saying it again. That is the only good thing from that live adaptation.
They're not gonna do it.
He was so good.
They're
in
not
it.
gonna do it.
There's no one else I can. Obviously, I don't know how faithful. I don't know if it's gonna be. They said series, so it might be a show, live adaptation show. So they're smart. At least they did great with Stranger Things. I saw the finale. I think it's really good. If you were phased off from it from the previous seasons, this one definitely fixes a lot of things. I think it was great. I loved it. I can't wait for the final season of Stranger Things. I feel like they have a good thing with storytelling, horror, which Death Note's not really a horror. But,
it can be.
yeah,
At
it
times,
can
at
be.
times.
But they have, like, the mystery element and, the thriller down.
yeah.
So all I'm going to say is that I'm pretty sure you're not blind, Duffer Brothers, and saw how big of a massive failure that Death Note movie was. And I hope you have some anime knowledge and to know the community hated it and are probably not looking forward to your story. So they're already fighting an uphill battle. So
Yeah.
you're probably going to have to play a smart card and actually try with this, please. Not that I'm asking for it because we don't need it, but you know what I mean? Like, you've already seen a failure before. You can't just do the same thing again.
Yeah. This is what you guys got to be careful because a lot of people, when there's bad, terrible live adaptations, sometimes people go, oh, it's because of the casting. It's because it was Americanized. So I have a feeling that all they're going to do is cast Asian actors and go, good, we fixed it. It's over.
Yeah.
Like, we did everything.
Yeah.
That's it. And then it's just going to be awful again. Like, this is probably what they're doing with the Avatar series, too.
Yeah.
Because, yes, whitewashing is bad. And it does take place in Tokyo, so it should be Asian actors. But let's be honest. The problems of that live action go far deeper than just
They could have put it
the
in America
casting.
and it would have been fine, but it's
Yeah.
just that they focus too much on the school and then
Yeah.
focus on all the wrong elements and added new ones that didn't need to be. But if you've listened to our Shonen Junk video on YouTube, you should go check out on doing Netflix's job. If anything that they should adapt, or like I mentioned that video, that they should adapt again, because Death Note's a relatively easy, again, if you have to adapt, it is a relatively easy story to adapt. And you could please manga fans by giving them probably a different ending or taking things in a different direction that the anime didn't or couldn't do. So
Yes.
you have a chance, like I said. If you're going to go down this route, you have a chance to please the anime and manga enjoyers, new people who are watching, those who didn't like the ending, and those who did like the ending.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting series that you can do. I'll be looking forward to this with quotation marks, with an asterisk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to it
Is
cautiously.
it going to be on Netflix?
It says it's going to be done by Netflix.
Uh,
The only positive thing I have is Duffer Brothers.
Oh.
You're going to pick the mic.
Sorry.
You're okay. Ben's trying to attempt to eat the mic right now. But
dear God.
Duffer Brothers did great with Stranger Things. Go check that out. It was absolutely amazing. I loved
Yeah.
it. Just do right by
doesn't
this.
mean it's going to translate, but we'll see.
I know, but
We'll see.
do right by Duffer Brothers. I'll be watching anxiously.
All right. This is my last one. Slam Dunk Anime Films teaser video previews 3D CG animation for the film.
Is this the first adaptation of Slam Dunk, or has Slam
That's-
Dunk been given an adaptation
I'm
before?
glad you asked,
Yeah.
Edgar. Yes, there was a anime adaptation done by Toei Animation. However, the reason why you asked that is because the release, they kind of botched the release in the West.
Yeah, I've
for
never
this.
heard of this.
Mhm.
I've heard nothing but praise
Yeah.
for the manga.
Yes. It's Tony. It's Inoue who's done Vagabond
Yeah.
and Real, which is two great
It's
mangas.
in my anime list. It is one of those few manga series that is above a 9.0,
Yeah.
which is if it reaches that. Unlike anime reviews on that, the manga series don't get botched with reviews. So when it's up there, and it's definitely earned
Yeah.
it without tampering.
This is the daddy of all the sports animes.
Yeah.
So this is the one that really. Although
I have this saved up on my list.
Yeah.
Like,
Although I think that Blue Lock and Haikyuu are butting heads right now for what's the best sports anime in my opinion. But I need to watch this. But it's hard because they're like released in the West. They really botched it. Like not just with the anime, but with the volumes and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
So-
But real quick.
Mhm.
So Toei Animation began streaming the first teaser trailer of Takehiko Inoue's Slam Dunk basketball manga, and it previews 3D CGI that's going to be used in the film. The film's going to come out in December 3rd in Japan, and Inoue is personally directing the film. And so this is one of the first times
Interesting.
that a manga creator is personally directing that isn't Akira Toriyama.
Okay.
So Toei Animation took that idea of Akira Toriyama as like, oh, cool. But Akira Toriyama doesn't direct. So it's fascinating that Inoue is directing it. And Inoue is getting back into it. So this gives us hope. He's writing Real. He's directing this slam dunk. Vagabond, one of the highest rated mangas of all time, is unfinished still. So
Yeah.
there is the chance that he comes in and finishes it. Don't get your hopes up, but there's a possibility. So I wrote something fascinating. Viz Media released all 31 volumes in English. However, Cinema DIGM released Slam Dunk Season 1, Volume 1 on English dub only on DVD in May 2015. Toei Animation released 4 DVD volumes in the anime with an English dub before ceasing its direct distribution plans in North America. So they just abandoned it for some reason,
Yeah, and
which is absurd.
I
It's a
l-
basketball anime.
I looked up, and it's done by a good mangaka. So
Yeah.
I was I looked into it. Obviously, I haven't even bought Vagabond yet, but I was interested in Slam Dunk and how many volumes there were.
Yeah.
There's
There's nothing.
Yeah, so like I was just so
You're
confused.
gonna have to learn
for
Japanese.
How can something so big and great and goated not have such a, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not have an English
Maybe-
because it would sell so well.
Are you sure it doesn't have an English translation?
It doesn't, man. I scoured and it's not there. And or they just I think they are there, but they're just all out of stock for like ever. Like they're not in print anymore as far as I know.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's just bizarre. So I'm sorry, I was kind of like I was looking up news. So Toei Animation is doing this.
Toei Animation is doing this because
So
they did
two
the
films,
original
3D
anime.
animation. I wonder if they're just attempting new things or if they're restricted in any way. Not saying
It just this is they're using it. So it's kind of like how they did Super Broly, where it will be 2D, but they're using it to their advantage, just like how they're doing Blue Lock as well.
I see. So they're blending. It's a
Yeah.
blend, a hybrid, so
Yeah.
to say.
I mean, you could buy the whole stock, but the Japanese edition, you could buy the whole 31 volumes on Amazon for $200, but you would have to learn how to read
Yeah,
Japanese
that
first.
they're all there, but in Japanese.
Yeah.
It's just lost, but yeah, I hope they.
Is this lost? Yes, yes, it is.
Yes, wow. That is
I don't
just-
even know if you can read it online.
They should. There's got to be some hardcore
Oh,
fans.
you can buy volume 17 if you want to read halfway through.
Oh boy.
yeah.
Just
Oh
so
boy. But it's all used, so it's all like third tier.
Oh man.
And it's like $35.
I want to get into Slam Dunk. Oh wait, I can't.
wait, you
They make it
can't.
impossible.
Yeah, for some reason that's so weird.
Yeah.
Truly.
Truly bizarre.
Truly.
Yeah.
Edgar, you got any more news?
Yeah, I got 3 things.
Do it.
Blue Lock released their first episode. Well, not released.
Lock.
They premiered their first episode to the lucky people who were able to visit the Blue Lock panel.
Mm-hmm.
The reactions were very positive. There were leaks, so they're probably taking that stuff down. And I only saw like a 10-second clip, but people were loving it. And from what I've heard from people who did post about their reactions to it, not like a video, but like they typed it, you know. They said it was great. The animation was amazing. The opening was fantastic. A lot of good things, a lot of hype from it, and I'm very jealous that people who did get to go to this saw the first episode because we're not getting it until October. So we got still a while to look forward to, but that was amongst the special viewings that they got to see at Anime Expo. And at the Chainsaw Man panel, people did think we were going to get a trailer, but we didn't, unfortunately. But there was some interesting information that was given. I think the MAPPA CEO was there, along with the head director of the anime was there. They stated that there was going to be no censoring, and they're going to stay true to the material.
Yeah,
And
they do say some naughty words in that
Yeah.
show or in that manga.
Well, I'm just worried for the blood because there's a lot of it, and if he just like,
oh, I don't know about the blood.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Obviously, there's stuff more than just blood, but there's a lot of gore and blood in it, to an extent.
What? Really?
Chainsaw Man.
Oh, and Chainsaw Man. I thought you were still talking about Blue Lock.
No, yeah.
I was like,
Did
what?
I not say Chainsaw? I said Chainsaw.
You might have said
Chainsaw
Chainsaw Man. But yes, if they censor Chainsaw Man, I don't know what you're. What
I
you're
know, right?
doing. Yeah.
I mean, has taken like serious like stuff where like but even they censored some things in Attack on Titan, even though it's as gruesome as it is, but they did say that they were going to stay true to the source material, and they did say that Tatsuki Fujimoto was going to be supervising the anime production. So that's some good news, or at least for those of you who are wary of whether it be, faithful to the source material, the guy himself is going to be watching over. Usually those types of announcements aren't that good because they usually say it in the West, but in the in Japan that should be a good thing because that they're overseeing it. So I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of people were disappointed that they didn't get a new trailer because we haven't gotten one in 1 year, buddy. It's been 1 year since we had a trailer.
They had the Blue Lock or the Chainsaw Man trailer? Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, we haven't had a new anything in 1 year.
Oh wow.
And they did talk about the music, the composer. I don't know what his name is, and I would look him up at
Yeah, you're fine.
It's the same guy who did Devilman Crybaby, which I heard is really good and experimental and very different, and they seeked him out for this anime.
That's what you need, experimental for this.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. If it wasn't for Solo Leveling, this would probably be the prejudice, the assumption of the top anime. Obviously,
it definitely will be this year because Solo Leveling is coming out in 23.
Oh
so,
yeah. I don't know. I kept thinking. Oh yeah. I'm sorry about before. I was under the pretense thinking that it came out in fall anime. Yeah. Either way, it is going to be huge next year. Yeah. But Chainsaw Man again has competition. But it probably is going to be the most hyped. It's the most hyped one. We just don't know which one will be the most successful in terms of how well they adapt it and how the fan base reacts to it. Yeah. But it is definitely the most hyped in the we will be watching list. I have one last one. This one's a special one for me. Mushoku Tensei Season 2 released, announced
no, just
an adaptation. Don't give me a
I'm just messing. I'm messing.
Okay, this is my baby. Studio Bind is back to adapt the the light novel. I'm heavily looking forward to it. It looks beautifully animated. Nice. They care about it because they created this animation studio just to adapt this story because they loved it so much. They even love it so much that when a certain character came up in the story, they fought over who was going to animate this character because of how much they liked it so much. Yeah. So they really care about it. It looks like they're adapting 6 volumes. It's so interesting because I read it and I know what's happening in it, and seeing it come to life is a different story. Yeah. Because they follow a light novel. It does have a manga, but the manga is not that popular. Right. So I'm interested in seeing how accurate my mind portrayed, of the certain scenes. I don't know if that happened with you in Game of Thrones. Did he read far enough into Game of Thrones when they were adapting the show?
No. So I read Game of Thrones
after.
So I read Game of Thrones after when the cutoff happened. So when Jon Snow dies, that's the end of George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones. But I mean, also there were also contradictions from the book and heavily things that were just going wrong with the story already that I was too blind to see.
Is there anything you read, like a regular novel or book, that got an adaptation later that you looked forward to or that you noticed difference for? Anything like that? Because that only happened with me with Percy Jackson, and I was heavily disappointed with that.
Well, I mean, there are a couple of stuff. There's what's upcoming? I mean, a lot of the stories from the Lord of the Rings Amazon show is going to be from the Silmarillion. Yeah. Or so they say.
Because they technically don't have the rights to Silmarillion, but they have rights to
other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be based on some, I don't know.
Either way,
they're going to make stories in Tolkien's perfect world. What are you doing? Yeah.
But as I was saying, I've read all this stuff. It's all in my mind, and I'm just wondering, how accurate, it's obviously.
The Witcher. The Witcher's a good one.
Yeah,
The Witcher's a good one.
I was gonna say, The Witcher.
The Witcher, good show. One of the worst adaptations I've ever seen.
Yeah, but in the game, does the game adapt the story as well?
The game takes place after the books ended. And the books ended in a very unsatisfying, blatant way because Andrew Shipkowski wanted Ciri to become the lead. But at the end, spoilers, at the end of the book, Geralt and Yennefer dies. Yeah. Right? and
Right.
and Ciri becomes the lead character, and people in Poland didn't really like that, and The Witcher was already dying in popularity, so he was like, screw it, I'm not gonna make any more books. And then CD Projekt Red was like, can I make video games? And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll sell the rights to you for $1,000, whatever. And then they
Here's for a
did it, and
nickel.
and they made it like a worldwide phenomenon, and then he complained that
was-
he wasn't getting enough money.
It was the Louisiana Purchases of deals.
Exactly. Literally.
So if they were to adapt a series based off the novels, would you say that it would be a good story to adapt, or would it not be?
For
the novels, the Witcher novels.
The Witcher, that's
Yeah.
that's what they said they were doing for the Netflix show.
Well, but they
know.
clearly aren't based on
yeah, they
based on what
aren't.
you said.
If they did a live action of the novels, yes, the novels are good. The Witcher is really weird
Yeah.
because the Witcher books I think are really good, but I think the video games
Does it better?
Specifically, games. The second one, the Assassins of Kings, and the third one, Wild Hunt. Those are better, like miles better. They expand the world better. How the characters interact
Yeah.
are better. Geralt in those games is just a better human being.
I'm interested in
you know?
how the books, start off. Would you recommend
Yeah.
them to me by reading?
Yeah, but I would read other stuff first. Like
Yeah.
like a lot of people think they are S tier books. I don't think they are. I think the writing of it is fairly lazy. I think that the world is better than the stories, and that's very similar to
So,
what I think about J.K. Rowling.
It tells
as well.
it tells a decent story with a lot of good ideas.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. So yeah, back to Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah.
I freaking love it, and I can't wait for it. It's probably it's not in the fall, so they announced it for next year. We don't know when it'll be announced. They just announced it in 2023. So
Yeah.
if it comes along with Solo Leveling, if I read Solo Leveling by then, those are going to be two big hyped stories that I can't wait to see adapt that I read. So because of that, I might just read the novels first out of that, to tie that along with Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm super looking forward to it. The story's great, what they're going to adapt with, and a lot of people who love the anime can't wait for that. And that's all we have for the Anime Expo. I do want to add one small note that isn't related to the expo, but that is a leak that you would be interested, Ben.
Leak.
This leak is coming from an apparent credible source that has predicted or confirmed stuff that did come out to be true. So these are two things that this one person from a Twitter account
I
posted.
think I know what you're about to talk about.
Yeah. One, they said that weekly Dragon Ball episodes.
Yeah, I
Set-
remember. Thank you,
yeah.
because I screenshotted this and I
Yeah.
completely forgot
I
about
thought
it.
you
Go
were
ahead.
going to cover it. And then,
Yeah.
they said that weekly Dragon Ball episodes set after the Universe Survival arc are in production, and that the anime will apparently be back in 2023. So,
Yeah.
big one. And the second one was
Yep.
new Dragon Ball movies after Superhero is currently in pre-production. Toei is planning to release movies once in 2 to 3 years. So, wow. Big news for Dragon Ball fans.
So this is going to be very interesting to see how they do this. So I think they're leading up to something. So what I think what they're going to do is the manga is continuing, obviously, and they let the manga get ahead because one of the major issues with Dragon Ball Super was that the manga wasn't finished. So the manga and the anime. So what would happen was Akira Toriyama gave them notes, and then the manga would do its own version.
So, like,
and then the anime would do its own version.
George R. R.
of
Martin,
it.
basically,
Yeah,
kind of.
basically, and they would all get to like different points, and some of it is done better in the manga, and some of it is done better in the anime. And a lot of people are trashing on the manga right now, but you can't argue that I genuinely think the Moro arc is one of the best arcs in Dragon Ball history.
So, from someone who doesn't know anything about Dragon Ball,
Yes.
it says weekly Dragon Ball episodes, not Dragon Ball Super. Is this not continuing the Super
This
series?
is going to continue Super. I don't know if I think they should call it something different. I would be down for them to call it like Dragon Ball. Like just call it Dragon Ball.
So this is
or call it something different. Dragon Ball X. You
So-
know, call it something different.
Dragon Ball Super Kai 2.
Super Kai 2?
or
No.
But so this is technically an adaptation of Super, but more accurately, or just
This
after...
is gonna be the adaptation of the manga. So the manga after the Universe Survival arc continued weekly, right?
Uh-huh.
And Toei Animation sat back and let them get ahead so that they have this stuff and they can see how the manga does, and then they can adapt from that. And if anything that the fans really didn't like, they'll just change it a little bit. They'll just tweak a little bit.
All right.
You know, because
So-
there are a couple of things that I'm just like, seriously, why? Well, and more specifically between Goku's character, where I'm like, why would he do that? But for the movies, it seems like that the movies they're giving to other characters to build them up so that they can return in that main series in the manga, and they're building up to something big, right? Because in this movie, since Gohan and Piccolo are the lead characters, we can assume that they're going to get some power-ups, right?
Yeah.
We can assume that. Broly is now back in the canon as well. We can assume that he's probably going to get some power-ups, right? So all this stuff is probably leading. Goku and Vegeta are the lead characters of the manga. And right now, their forms, what they're figuring out is about Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, which is Vegeta's form of it. And what they're doing is they're going towards that direction and figuring out how. I genuinely like it. I like that Goku has Ultra Instinct and Vegeta has Ultra Ego. They're finally getting away from the Super Saiyans and going more into what is classical martial arts. So that's fascinating and interesting and fun.
Well, I am
So, yeah.
ultra confused.
Yeah,
but
you are
it
ultra
sounds,
confused,
It
yeah.
sounds all hype. So, guys,
very hype.
look forward to that. Again, it is not 100% confirmed by an official source, but it is, rumored by a reliable,
Very reliable.
account, very reliable account. So, look forward to that, possibly.
Yeah.
And that's all we
And
have for news.
That's all we got for the news.
But
Edgar,
guess what?
what?
No, I was gonna ask you. Guess what?
No, guess what? What?
I mean, you're gonna say the same thing.
No, what?
We're thinking the same thing.
We're thinking-
Let's say it. One,
One,
two,
two,
three.
three.
Spy
9/11.
Family.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what? No, no.
Rewind.
No, rewind. Yeah.
One, 2, 3.
Spy Family.
It's
It's like
one mind. We're both Anya's.
So yesterday, Edgar. Yesterday, I went to Kinokuniya, right, with my friends
Yeah.
who aren't that big of fans of manga and anime, because I wanted one of my good friends, Rudy. I wanted to buy him a manga and get him into it, so I
Yeah.
bought him Chainsaw Man, right?
Yeah.
And as we were walking past, my friends who are barely connected to manga and anime, one of them pointed at Spy Family and went, "Look, it's the girl from the memes." And I was like, yeah, it is.
It definitely
and
is,
this,
yeah.
Edgar, this show has had such a huge cultural impact the past couple of months that she's shown up in memes, in pop culture. Not just her, but also like I was on Facebook literally seconds ago. Oh wow, well Facebook just reloaded,
I hate
and
when they do that.
I just found this. I was looking and I was like, oh, here's a Spy Family meme. Like, look, like when your friends invite somebody else to like a group and Lloyd is like, you know?
What?
So yeah, so like the memes for it is everywhere. Do you think that it deserves this kind of attention that it really, other animes don't really get? But this one has really gotten this big, response.
It does. It isn't as big as Demon Slayer, but it is just as welcoming as
Yes.
Demon Slayer. For some reason, Demon Slayer is big with families in Japan, even though it has a lot of blood. But it has
Yeah.
like good values. There's no ecchi in it. There's no like typical like anime stuff that tends to turn people off from certain anime.
It's very traditional Japan though, because it's all about values and
Yeah.
and life and
This
all that
and
stuff.
this
yeah.
and Spy Family has a lot of that. So it is
Yeah.
booming, not as big, but pretty
Boom.
well with families
Yeah.
and in the West over here with normies and people who aren't involved in it.
Yes.
And the memes I didn't expect that to happen. Anya memes blew up when the anime popped up. They were kind of around with manga, but they blew up everywhere. You had Anya showing up in like random panels and
Yeah,
other
the-
manga.
The
The
meme
heh.
is huge.
Or you see Luffy like, "I've been waiting for you," and it shows like Anya,
Yeah,
like,
Anya
just
wa-
like standing.
and or who was it? Gojo, like when he's like waiting for one of the enemies in one of his flashback arcs, and it's like it's you, and she's
Yeah.
like walking towards him, like what the heck?
I'm like,
so
Anya's
crazy.
basically Zoro now, just getting lost up in all this stuff.
Basically.
That is cool. I didn't think
Yeah.
that it would be that much of a big of an impact to like people like who
Yeah.
aren't in anime at all.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you're looking forward to their reaction to that. Story
yeah,
now.
Definitely. But also, are you thinking that it's because there's a lot of people out there saying like, oh, this is the best modern day anime. This is better than Jujutsu Kaisen. It's better than Attack on Titan. It's better than all of this stuff, which I mean, I completely disagree with.
I don't think so. I think
You
that's good. I
know?
think it's a big
Yeah.
much, but it is probably the
Yeah.
best intro anime ever right now.
Oh,
because
yeah,
this
yeah.
is like such an easy one to get into. It is super
easy.
wholesome. It doesn't have a lot of the
Yeah.
turnoffs from that other animes tend to have.
Yeah.
Easy story, super likable characters. There's practically nothing objectively wrong with this. In terms of story, whether you like it or not is another thing. But like, if you don't like filler, or if you don't like ecchi, or if you don't like fan service, if like you know what I mean, like or dark themes, whatever, is a really easy one to get into, and it's really great. I had read the manga beforehand, and then I looked forward to the anime.
Yeah.
Anime was great. It was animated by Wit Studio and Cloverworks. Ben, you recently just caught up with the anime.
Yeah, so I read the first volume before it came out, like 2 weeks before it came out for something. I mean, I can
can
say
talk about it now,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was months away. I was up for one of the roles in Spy Family.
Can
for
you
the
say who it
dub.
was?
Well, it wasn't. It's who I auditioned for. I bet you plenty of people. I wasn't like, if I was called back for him, I would say I was up for him. But I was just auditioning for it.
You were in the pool.
I was in the pool of auditioning for Lloyd.
Oh
but-
man, when you
but
told me
there's
that, I was just so hyped for it. I was
yeah,
excited.
it was really cool. But I mean, I'm very unknown, so it wasn't. And one of my very, very good friends / mentors got the role, which I'm very happy about. And he's done an amazing job in the role. He's just a great actor all throughout.
He is the original voice of Aizawa in the first season. If you don't know.
And he gave me, more importantly, he gave me my first ever acting job. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ben has connections already, baby.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not gotten me anywhere. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
but
I mean,
yeah.
I kind of need more universe.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't. So I read the first volume and I was blown away. You know, the first part with the spot where Lloyd's like with that one guy, you want to protect your daughter, where he's like, and she's like, I know what school she goes to, I know who she hangs out with, and she's like, if you want her to have a normal life, stay the hell out of my way. And when I read that, I was like, oh my god. And then when he proposed to her with the ring from the
grenade pin.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this
Can
is
I do
amazing.
that?
Yeah,
I need a grenade ring.
Exactly. And Anya was so hilarious and funny in that first volume. I don't think, and maybe it's just because of how the anime was done, I don't think it quite reached the potential I thought it was going to. Now you have to remember, this is the beginning of the story still. So it's not quite, I don't think it reached the heights of those first 3 episodes throughout, but I do think it continued it really,
Yeah.
really well.
I think
yeah.
it didn't. It's weird. The high notes, a lot of the high notes of the anime were different from the mangas.
Yeah.
There was a lot of moments in the mangas that I enjoyed more than the anime, but the anime made me like a lot and laugh at more.
Yeah,
and
I
enjoy
laughed
more
so hard
than the manga. Obviously, you're hearing Anya now, who is like absolutely adorable, and Yor and Lloyd, just like all their interactions are just like absolutely hilarious.
I just love how Lloyd is trying to be in a like spy show so hard, but everybody else is like pulling him into this absurd comedy
Sitcom
like,
family,
and he's
yeah.
like, and he's just taken on this ride where he's like, there's no way this is gonna work, it's all gonna go bad, and then Yor says something like, oh, I forgot, and then Yuri's like, ah ha ha ha, oh, that's hilarious, and Lloyd's like, how the hell, like what,
Hey,
like
what's
how
going on,
like,
huh?
excuse, what, and then like, oh yeah, but there are some. This is my main problem with the show, and it's very nitpicky, but there is some lazy writing stuff in here where it kind of just makes Lloyd or Yor kind of look dumb.
It's
you
like when
know?
when like they pass off the okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it like when
Where-
Yor's like super strong? It's like, and she
Where
gives
he's
like some dumb excuse.
He's like, she's gonna kill me. Like he's legit like, she will murder me. She's about to murder me, and she falls asleep, and he's like, oh, Soka, and then he moves on, you know, or like.
you
or
mean like
when-
he would be more suspicious? Like
Yeah,
you
like
know.
like who is this? You know, like what's going on? Or like when Anya's like, somebody's drowning, and he's like, who are you? Like, and
Yeah.
he literally asks, who are you? And Anya just goes, I'm gonna go swim. Like, and he forgets all about it. Like I'm like, what? Like, I feel like I would be more inquisitive about this, you know? But yeah, and also the fact how in some episodes, okay, I do have some problem with the agencies, right? So in that one episode with the castle, right? He was able to call all these agents
That's
in
so funny.
to play. It is funny, but then in the last episode, they said they were having shortages, and I'm like, BS. I'm like, BS, you're having shortages. I was like, you called in episode 5 all of these like agents to play Castle with Anya. I was
Yeah.
like, BS.
God, that episode was so funny.
That episode was a really good episode.
That entire segment, which is like half or more than half of the episode,
Yeah.
was only like 5 pages or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they did it really well.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I mean, those problems are there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of laugh at them because I never take the show too
Yeah.
seriously than it is.
That,
Even
and that's what you should do.
Yeah.
It's not that show.
yeah, and if you expect it to be all action, all spy, then you're probably not gonna like it because it does. It's in the name. It's half spy, half family. So it's like it's a spy family.
Yeah.
You know, it has like a lot of those regular slice of life elements that I really, really like.
But they do, but what I do like about it is that there is a lot of stuff bubbling under the surface, right? Because this is how you build conflict: is when there's things bubbling like a hot, like boiling water, like with a lid. Eventually, the lid is going to burst open because the water can't take it anymore. Eventually, that stuff is going to come up. So there's a lot bubbling up under the surface with Yuri and the military police, with Anya being an Esper, with Lloyd and Yor with their backstories and all of this stuff. There's so much bubbling under the surface that the final act of this could be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, could be one of the best final acts in anime and manga history if they go the route of, like, I want there to be a war. Like, let the war happen, you know?
I want destruction and
like
death.
conflict, you know?
Yeah.
Like I want this to be, and I think what's been a missed out, and I haven't read up to the manga at this point, and maybe they do it more, but what I think they need to have more of is like Yor and Lloyd undermining each other, because isn't Yor on the complete other side?
Yeah, she's with Ostania or Jesus, I need Ostania. Yeah,
Yeah.
She's with Ostania. She's an assassin for the Ostania, and he is Westalis
Yeah.
Westalis spy. You know,
Yeah,
spy
exactly.
agent.
So I thought we would be seeing, because we haven't actually seen Yor murder a lot in this show so
Yeah.
far. We've kind of seen her murder once, and it was a really well animated and well done scene.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time she just talks about how, like,
Struggling being a mother.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then Anya dissing on her, like,
Yeah.
wow, she's just really bad at everything.
She's just bad at everything.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I'll cook for you today, and she's like,
Mm,
I want Papa to cook.
yeah.
And she's like, oh, shock. You know,
Oh,
where they
man.
just say shock. But we've gotten a lot of Lloyd, and I think Lloyd is just such a well done character. Like he's wrestling with this idealism that he has. So he's a spy through and through, and he's not supposed to have connections, but also the reason why he became a spy was to make sure that there are happy families in the world,
Yeah,
to make sure
peace.
that all kids can smile and enjoy
so
themselves.
no one has to cry. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, like, that also counts for Anya. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
it's such great writing where he like his goal and his idea is like it like personifies itself like as Anya.
Yeah.
And like she is like what he wants to achieve, and he has to do them at the same time, manage
No.
a world of peace and tranquility in the real world and also within his own home, which is so great.
Exactly. And everything towards his goal as a spy is also towards the good of his
Yeah.
own family. you
And they
know?
sometimes conflict because, like, what
Yeah.
he wants to achieve as a spy and for his mission doesn't always benefit, Yor or Anya, because she struggles
Yeah.
with studying, and it's hard for her growing up and being in school and all.
Yeah.
And he has like a hard time, like, oh, I don't mean to upset you, but you gotta really pass, otherwise this world's gonna explode or whatever.
Yep.
So it makes it,
Yeah.
it gives you kind of humor in that sense, and it also puts in conflict between the characters.
Yeah.
It is really great.
It was really great. It's really great. Yeah, I think he's one of the best written characters I've seen in a while. And I really like his dialogue and the way that he, I think he is done by, because I watched some episodes in dub and some in sub. I think he is just played by two brilliant actors, sub and dub. Like, they are awesome in different ways, but they are really, really good.
Yeah, they are. Anya's voice, both that actors are really great, along with yours. Who is your I don't know if we're gonna jump episode to episode or something.
Yeah, we can just jump.
So the first episode is like when they get together. And the second episode, the first episode is Anya meets Lloyd, and Lloyd like gets the house, and Anya gets kidnapped and whatnot. And the second episode,
and one of the best parts of the series, where he threatens that guy with all the information he knows.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, especially like I was with your daughter, and that's how
we haven't even talked about how these guys are basically superhuman. Like, you're literally threw a volleyball
and broke a tree
with the speed of light. like do you see how it was like a beam?
Yours on a different level.
I know, it's crazy.
But he meets Yor in the second episode in a hilarious manner, and God, I'm so like they really make you hate like. Everyone's so paranoid. So like, and you think like, why are they like that? But you got to imagine this world as like a Russia versus like USA Cold War state.
And if they were right next to each other,
Yeah.
And I think it's fascinating.
So it's like East and West Germany more specifically, because they were kind of right next to each other.
Yes, it's literally East and West Germany.
Yeah.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because like literally the capital of Westeros is so on the nose.
Yeah.
It's called Berlin. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, wait,
you couldn't be more on the nose than that.
Exactly.
But because for those of you who don't know, after World War II, America occupied West Germany, and the Russians occupied East Germany,
or the Soviet Union at the time.
Yeah, and it was split in between Berlin, and Berlin was in between those, between those cities.
A literal wall was put up.
literally, and that's what began the tensions of all that stuff. And so Berlin being the centerpiece of all of this is just so, and it's interesting because there are things that are, like it's Russian in the 40s through 60s, and then it's also Americans in the 40s through 60s. All the suits that they're wearing is very American.
Yor and Yuri, very Russian sounding names.
Yeah. The uniform that Anya wears with the hat, very Russian.
Yeah.
The buildings, how they look is very German.
European,
It's very German.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Augsburg. Way
Ben's been in Germany.
Yeah, well, my father was born in Germany.
No, but you've been there, like you saw it.
Yeah.
You're not just like saying, "Oh, I'm German, so I know exactly what Germany looks like." Yeah.
No, I speak the language, friends. So it's just I love the style of it. It's such a brilliant idea and also a brilliant idea not to put it in our world, to make it extremely political, because I read it and I was oh my God, people are going to hate this because of politics and stuff, but it's in another world, not ours.
Yeah, it does it subtly to where it doesn't make itself political, but it literally deals with politics and war and
it's
conflict.
literally the most political show I've seen in a while.
Yeah, but it doesn't force it down your throat, and it just adds more to the conflict.
Yeah.
And you see, like as I was saying,
sorry about that.
You see this like in a spy show where you have to like be undercover and like you got to make sure no one notices you. It's always annoying when people are like, "Oh, you're so suspicious and whatever. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Come on, no one acts like this." But like in a world where like everyone's being like ratting on each other and suspicious, if you're not perfect to the T, you're like a spy for the other side and whatnot, which adds like great tension, which makes Lloyd like paranoid. Like, I have to make sure this family looks
Russia
normal.
during the Cold War era was like this.
In America too, people were like, "You're a Soviet." Like, "Oh, you better act normal."
People were calling people out like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane, But yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah,
with
so
the
like you see like
episodes.
and you see like they have to like, and it forces them to like we're gonna like satisfy each other's needs by like forming this family.
Yeah.
Because everyone's suspicious of each other, and yours coworkers are like, oh, you're not married? That's so weird. What if you're like a spy or something like that?
Dude.
And she's like, I gotta do this
Yeah,
in order
yeah.
to keep up appearances, which is so great. And in that episode, Lloyd defends Yor for calling her a great woman and a mother.
Yeah.
It's all a great moment. And then there's the proposal scene, which is like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh,
another another scene where yours should be hella suspicious.
yeah, they're shooting at
Where
him.
he's like, being a doctor is really hard sometimes.
The
you know?
punching treatment is a real accurate way of treating them. Like,
it's like, what the heck?
Uh,
Dude, it's so stupid.
yours kind of a
but
dum dum, which is so
yeah.
great.
Well, they're all dum dums, but but I don't think, like we said, don't take the show so seriously.
Yeah.
It's that's a part of its charm, is that you don't. You think about some things really hard, like the political aspects of it, and then you think about this other stuff, because it will eventually play into, character development,
Yeah.
where when you're
It'll get more serious.
when Lloyd, when it all is
converges.
figured out,
Yeah.
and it all comes into this, I think there could be some big, foreshadowing here, like when Anya's like, no, don't kill
dad, yeah.
don't kill Papa, Mama, and Lloyd's like, oh, hell, I was dreaming weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that might be foreshadowing that Yor is going to be contractually obligated to kill Lloyd, and she will try until she can.
There'll also be conflict. Of course, just a reminder, I feel like we don't need to get a synopsis of the main story because you probably picked it up. But the main mission, Operation Strix, is to get Anya into to get Anya into a prestigious school where a target. Does Lloyd? I completely forget. Does Lloyd have to kill Desmond Donovan?
He needs to get close to him. I don't remember
what he has to do with it.
I don't remember what he has to do with him.
Yeah,
but I know that he has to get close with him.
Yeah, so, and basically in order to do that, Anya has to befriend Donovan's son, who
Desmond.
Desmond is the son, Donovan is the dad. I'm sorry, I forget. I mix those two up. But basically do that, and what was it saying? Oh yeah, that's the mission essentially. And like, I feel like there might also be conflict there, like where Lloyd is going to be in a predicament to where he has to either harm or like hurt the family, and Anya will probably be friends by the end point
with Desmond.
And there'll also be conflict
I really
there.
like Desmond.
Yeah,
I really like him.
I like that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like in the manga, he appeared snotty, and he was funny in some moments, but the anime just made me like him a lot more because he's so like obvious. Like you clearly love Anya. But it's so hilarious.
But it also, like, how many times have we seen the snobby rich kid? Like, oh my god, please. And I was like, I thought that's what he was gonna be, but he's just somebody who wants, to be given the attention of his dad, which really is like, oh man,
it kind of hurts.
Like, yeah, poor kid,
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, and I obviously I don't think he's as cold-hearted as his dad is.
Another funny moment that you don't see in the, at least I didn't notice in the manga, is that episode, the dodgeball episode. I think, no, it was like when they were first meeting. It's like when you see the moments when Anya interacting with Desmond. But like when Desmond remembers those scenes, you see Anya with like more sparkly eyes. Like when he thinks about her, he imagines her being more pretty, which is like funny and hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like small moments like those that I like. Becky is another great character companion.
Oh, Becky's great.
We
haven't even talked about the goat of the show, Frankie. He's one of my favorite characters. I love him so. Every time he's on screen, he gives like some thoughtful commentary.
He's like all of us. Like, I was gonna use that hot guy mask on the girls. He's like, you shouldn't use masks to fool other people. He's like, you want to talk? You're a spy.
You're the one to talk. Yeah,
yeah.
Like, no kidding. Like, but I really do like him because he seems like one of those people who's one of those friends who is like, don't get too attached, bud. But then when you put them in your predicament, they immediately get too attached. Like, he's like, come on. And he's like in the supervillain role and stuff, and he's having a great time, And you're just what, like
that episode is so great because like I love like Anya's obsession with Mr. Bondman, which is a play on, which is a play on Bond, James Bond. She like obsessed with like Lloyd like putting on the costume and how she gets happy. Like, it's so great. They fill each other's like needs. Anya wants the perfect thrilling life of a spy and like an excitement, and like Lloyd like perfectly fits that role and is also
Because when she meets him, like she's like he's a like
Yeah.
she knows that he's a spy.
yeah.
And she's like waku wak, which is another meme.
I know.
Yeah.
It's absolutely it's all great.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're just jumbling around. It doesn't really
Yeah, we're
matter.
just jumping around.
So Yuri at some point
yeah.
comes up.
Do we have to talk about him?
I don't see. Here's the thing.
I
To my
like
knowledge,
him.
to my
I like
knowledge,
him.
when people were complaining about the,
I'm not complaining.
no, not you, just
Yeah,
people in
yeah.
general, were complaining about the oh man, you got to get over this part, like with the incest. But the only thing that implies that, at least to my knowledge, I don't remember how many times we interact with Yuri in the manga. I think it happens like one or two more times. The only thing that implies that is when, as kids, Yuri says, "I want to marry you," and then in the future, he's just super obsessive and doesn't want Lloyd to like.
Well,
That's pretty much it. There's like not much to imply. He doesn't like. Cause
well,
kids
but also
kids
he
say
says
that all the time.
yes, but he's like, I couldn't stand watching you kiss someone. And also, the thing that really rubbed me wrong was his locker room. That was his locker. That I did not like. That he opened that and I went, ugh. I went, okay, this is unhealthy.
Yeah, but that's one of those
Yeah.
things where like I don't. It's like an over exaggeration of
It
like.
is. It is, and like once again, it's easy. You don't.
I just find it
think about
hilarious.
too much,
Like
you
it,
know?
that might be like my desensitized to like this
Yeah.
kind of humor, but I've seen like way worse stuff.
Yeah, of
like
course,
I
of
think
course.
I think the Black Clover character, the mirror guy, I think that's way worse.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I mean, well, he gets a nosebleed anytime you think.
yeah,
about his
that's
sister, but, you
way
know.
on the nose. But like to me,
Yeah.
like he just to me it's just like an over obsession to the sister to the point it's like hilariously stupid and like kind of perverted.
Yeah.
And I just find it funny. I just
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious.
I think it is funny, but I think you could have gotten the same exact thing if he was just a really overprotective brother, and you couldn't have gotten me and other people to go, oh, I don't want to
See, but that's the thing.
You know?
I think that's exactly what we got. That people just came on the wrong way just because in the beginning as a kid, it's like, oh, I want to marry you, and people are like, oh man, he wants to marry her. I'm like, bro, he's a kid when he said that. Like,
He's a little kid,
There's like
yeah.
plenty of, but like one of the funnier moments from that episode is like the whole like. They introduced him as like a super nice guy, and he's like overprotective of his sister,
yeah.
but like he's on the secret police for like again the other side on Astania, which is super great. And like not only does he not like Lloyd because he's married to his sister, but because he's a literal like secret agent. So it's and then
Yeah.
Lloyd picks up on this easily.
That's my
whole little-
favorite part of the episode. Of that episode, by the way, is when he was like, "Oh yeah, where'd you get this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I got it for $200." And it was like, "Oh yeah, where at?" And he went, "Blah blah blah."
This
and he
small
went,
little
blah
shop.
blah blah. And he went, "Yep, exactly." He was like, "I knew it." I was like, "Oh
You're a spy."
my god!" I was like, "Jeez, I loved it, dude."
And it's so
Really
it's
good.
hilarious. It's so that's what I'm saying. Like with almost all interactions with main characters, there's always double meanings. Like with the on surface one, and then with like the subtext one, which is so great, and which makes the humor and the tension so phenomenal. What makes this show really great, and also all the school sequences are great. Like with the headmaster, with
Yeah,
the
the-
eleganto.
the the best parts of the show actually might be Anya in school. Like I don't like they're just so funny. Like
Yeah.
but they're so weird too. Like every like that dodgeball episode, man. I was laughing.
Daddy.
I was literally like
the man child.
I was like this show is so weird, but I'm here for it. It's just so weird. Like and talk
You-
about the 45-year-old like kid.
I was reading and I was like, this is an adult, right? But then the dad shows up and he's like
And
still
he's
super
like-
small.
He's like, Daddy. And it's like, what the? But it's so weird because like he's the same size as Lloyd. Like in most
Yeah.
times you see him, but anytime he's next to an adult is the only time he looks
looks
like
like a kid.
tidy. Exactly.
And it's just the small moments and and the things that they juice up a bit that makes it so amazing and excellent. Like
Also,
the
yeah.
budget kicks up. Ben, as you mentioned, there was a blatant Namek reference to
Literally
Dragon Ball.
But it wasn't just Dragon Ball. They also made fun of Shadow Clone Jutsu.
Yeah, they
from
did. Yeah, yeah,
Naruto
yeah.
With the waves and stuff
And
like that.
one could
yeah.
argue that it's like a Hunter x Hunter reference with
Oh,
the
really?
whole since this is like a dodgeball sequence and there's like a dodgeball sequence in Hunter x Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's all fantastic and it's
Yeah,
really
it was
great.
Really good. It was really good.
And I want to not
God,
skip.
I just want to talk about the Dragon Ball sequence real quick. Like, I've seen Dragon Ball like before, but usually they have the art style of like Namek behind them. But this is literally just they just copy and paste
It's straight up.
Namek.
It's straight up Namek.
Like, I just looked at it and I was like, did Toei Animation just do this?
Or they're
I
like
was
drinking
what-
coffee. They're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Like literally, like they got like.
Can we copyright them?
Yeah,
Another anime
yeah,
studio?
yeah, exactly. Like they were like the green water in the back, like and
The hill- the rocks,
hills,
like,
and the
the sky.
and the kind of like Dr. Seuss looking like plants in the background.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what the heck is this? Like I was like, what the heck?
We need more
so
anime
funny.
references in anime. I
Yeah.
love his work does them a lot, but this one's like
I'm
was
sure.
very, very like in your face.
Just a little bit off of that. I just saw the a clip from the dub where she was like, where it was Ian Sinclair going like, yeah, and she figured it out, and that's why she's best girl. And I was like, what is this?
Dude, there's way more moments like that. It's so great.
That's great. That's great.
The dubs just do something else,
That's
and they're
great.
really great in this anime.
Yeah.
It's both all of them just nail it on the head. So
Yeah.
if you want to get into it, watch either one of
Watch
them.
it. Yeah.
They're great. I don't want to jump to the end, but this is on my mind right now.
Sure.
A moment that I really loved a lot was the Penguin episode, which is the
Yes.
final one, and technically is an extra chapter. It's not exactly filler. It's in the
I
manga.
assumed it gave off extra chapter vibes.
But it's in the manga,
Yeah.
so it's adapting. You know,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not just making stuff up. So
Yeah.
it is in there. And the moment that I really like, not only once again Lloyd has to like put up the facade that they're family doing regular family stuff because like the neighbors are so nosy. Oh man, the husband's always away. You think he's cheating or something like that? And he's
Bruh.
like, bro, like, all right, guys, let's go to the
Oh,
Penguin
yeah,
Park.
Exactly.
Oh man, it's at the very end. I can't believe I forgot it now. But he gets him a plushie. Oh yeah. I remember now. He wins Anya a plushie to make Anya happy and to see that they're a happy family. But the moment I really love is when they upset Anya, like in having to like study or like do something,
Yeah.
and then he's like. And he realizes that he scolded her, and not only does he want to make Anya happy, but he's like has to keep going.
Well, it's the first time in the show that we've ever seen him like
Get angry.
like really angry because he
And-
like grabs her and he's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
like it's
Go into the room, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yours also like, oh man, I don't think she gets angry, but she kind of feels at fault as well
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like there's also stuff in her room that she
Yeah.
doesn't want Anya touching. So they both like have to like go down to her level and like play with
Yeah.
her, and it's like he's all embarrassed and like holding the toys, and they go
Yeah.
out in public and buy candy. That was like the most
Those are
wholesome
good.
moment.
Yeah.
Way to end the show with
Yeah.
another wholesome moment that I just freaking love so much. Like this entire show is like pure serotonin. It's
Yeah.
just so great.
My favorite part, I think that episode was at the beginning of that episode when Twilight was meeting with also his name Twilight is a great name.
Yeah.
And I think it has a double meaning, which could play into something further in the story down the line.
Yeah.
Also with what's yours name, Violet or like Scarlet, which Thorn
something.
She's Thorn something, yeah. Yeah.
You do that
very
while I look it up.
Very similar to like Black Widow kind of character.
Yeah.
Um,
Thorn Princess.
But Thorn Princess,
Yeah.
cool name, awesome name. But at the beginning when he was talking and one of them was like, "How's it going, Twilight? How's Operation Strix going?" And he tells him about it and explains Operation Strix for like the 100th time. Like I was starting to get annoyed a little bit, but
Yeah.
it wasn't hindering the show at all.
Yeah.
But he was.
You
but
do
he-
forget
yeah.
though that like
Yeah.
this is the mission.
Oh,
'Cause, like,
yeah,
so
'cause
many
there's
random.
so much happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's and it's just I love it when animes do small things like that because as a theater person, like those small things like make my life. Like I love small things like that where he started smoking and he
Oh,
went,
yeah.
and he went, "Did he stop smoking?" And he went like, "Well, of course. I have a family now." And he walks
Yeah, he
away.
quit smoking for
and,
Anya, yeah.
And the way that the agent like looks at him like, okay, like that. I want I want there to be a point because Lloyd is the main character as much as Anya and Yor has this. You know,
he's the one we started off with.
Yeah, exactly. And he has most of the inner dialogue. He has most of that stuff. But I want him to be at a point where everyone's against him. HQ is against him. Yours against him.
Dude's spending the budget like crazy.
Exactly. I want him to be at a point where he has to go from, because I want to see, because we've seen him with like all of this money, all of this gadgets at his disposal, but I think there needs to be a point where all of this stuff needs to be taken away from him, and he needs to be, you know, this is what I'm saying is like the final act of this series can be great, you know, with Yuri, with Yor, with Westeros, and all of this stuff converging into this boiling point. And it's very fascinating because this is what you don't want in a Cold War. You don't want a boiling point like this.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I can only assume that nukes also exist in this world.
Yes.
So, like, a war would be the end of the world.
Yeah,
so that's like the one. But there will be a conflict. I do understand what you're saying.
I do think it will be like, up until the last second there could be a war, and then that happens. But I think I've always said this, and so anyone who's interested in storytelling should read this book by K.M. Wild, which is Creating Character Arcs. And one of their major points about it is how the main character should be supplementary of the world that is there, and Lloyd Forger is the perfect main character for this world, just like I think Eren Yeager is the perfect main character in Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
you know, the world and them just create seamless storylines and storytelling that is just so fascinating to see. And yes, it is simple at times, but a lot of anime is simple, and that's why we love it, because it's base.
If it gets the job done, then it can be simple. Yeah, exactly.
It's just great. I love Lloyd.
I'm really looking forward to I don't know if you'll pick up the anime is coming back soon in the fall, so I don't know if you'll be picking up the manga.
I think I'll read up to where the volumes.
There's a lot of good things in it. There's two characters that I'm still looking forward to, that are hilarious. Maybe
Dog
is a great addition. Yeah, we saw him in a preview.
Doggy.
And there's another one.
Is that white-haired chick?
Oh yeah, they're in the mangas. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not sacred, but what they are and what they add to the story is fantastic. Both hilarious and amazing.
That's great.
And where I'm at in the manga, I just read, and this isn't a spoiler. They just revealed Lloyd's backstory, and sometimes at this point in the story,
they have teased it a little bit. Yeah.
This time we get into it in the manga, and I was starting to feel I was loving it, but I felt like it wasn't as serious anymore, and we kind of like lose sight of like what we're dealing with and how stakes and how serious the world is. And man, it's good.
Really good.
Really good.
Okay,
and I really like it.
I might pick it up.
Yeah. But there's a lot of moments that hit me, and it was really good, and it makes you think about the real world and all that, and it's so great. Read the manga, watch the anime. It's a great series. Yeah. Like I said, sorry, cough. I don't know if it's exactly the best of the new gen. New gen's always happening. New gen started from 2016, but it's also now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it is one of the newer anime. But I think I don't think exactly it's like the best one of all of them. But it is the easiest one to get into. So if you want to get into anime, start off with this one. This is a great one, along with I guess Jujutsu Kaisen is like a great example of getting into battle shonen.
Yeah.
This one's a hybrid.
I actually don't agree with it. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is so complex that it's like
for anime. You're thinking the manga, like
I know.
Just
I know.
like Attack on Titan,
go over your head a lot of stuff.
One could argue that when you start off Attack on Titan, it's a simple battle shonen too, which in the end it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but and I have other examples, but you know what I mean. Like Spy Family is a great one to get into, and is an amazing story worth checking out.
Meme material up the wazoo.
My favorite one is the Anya giving the. It's not the hen face, but it's her devious look. Yeah, where she looks. She's looking at Eren's dad, Grisha, and he's like stressing out, and she's like smiling at him.
Oh yeah. It's because she's trying to sound like Papa, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, I sound like Papa, you know?
Yeah.
I also love, but a specific moment that I really loved is when Yuri gets slapped by Yor, and she wakes up and she's like, well, Is it
He
the
gets
end of the
slapped
world?
twice.
Yeah.
Anya's like, yeah, is it the end of the
Is
world?
it the end of the world?
I go to
and
sleep.
she's like, all right. She's like, I'm out. It's so funny. It's really good.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character from the show?
I was about to ask you that
Yeah,
question. Yeah. I got like series questions to ask. But yeah, my favorite character is Lloyd. Like, it's I understand that you could say Frankie for me, because every time he's on screen is just gold. Like, I love everything he does. You could obviously say Yor or Anya. Of course, Anya is the secondary main character. Yor is obviously the third, but she hasn't really gotten like as much screen time as those two, like, at all.
There's we don't exactly get the same stuff from the manga, but there is moments where we focus more on her, which is great. I'm really happy for her. But in the beginning, it's like mainly Lloyd and Anya, because it's the mission, Lloyd's mission, and Anya's involved in the mission, and yours just like a part to make it all look, neato, burrito.
Yeah.
So like I said, even in the manga, I still wish we get to see more of her job. And you're right, that will be a point at the very end where like her job will be more focused towards Lloyd or his organization, the Spy, to either wipe him out or them out. They'll converge, which I look forward to.
Yeah, which is it, like, the manga creator. I don't know what your name is, but you have the opportunity. Your setup here, phenomenal. You have the opportunity to just absolutely slam dunk it out of the house.
This could fall easily to the stretch out to the point to where like there's no way they wouldn't know at this point.
Yeah,
which I hope they don't. It's kind of it falls in the same trope as the Sam and Diane. Oh, they're gonna be together, but it's gone on for way too long to the point why they're not together by that point. Yeah. So I hope this doesn't happen with this.
Yeah. Oh, I also really like Desmond. I think Desmond is really, really well done. Also, I didn't talk about this. Those two dudes that are with him, they're gay. They're gay as hell. I don't care what you say.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I don't care what you say.
I just know them for being really dorky and stupid.
They are
looking.
really dorky and stupid, but they're fruity, dude. I'm not. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I need to read and watch it again, but I have.
But I'm like, the way that they talk,
the
way that they talk about Desmond, and the way that they like sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, it's like they have like a serious moment, and it's like,
and he's like. And it's like that scene where they're dying. I'm like, yo, these dudes fruity as hell. Like, I'm like, it's so funny. Dude.
I did not get that. Maybe
you didn't get it. But I just like they talked about Desmond one scene, and then their cheeks got red. And I
just think of them as like them idolizing him to like such a supreme boy.
I get it, but also when I watched it, I was like,
a little sus.
I think that's it. It's a little sus. That's why. But that scene where he like sacrifices, it's happened a million times in like different animes.
Yeah.
Like Piccolo with Gohan, probably. What they got it from.
Sam and Frodo.
Sam and Frodo, exactly.
Obvious one.
But who's your favorite character?
I have to say Anya. Anya's like Lloyd's an easy one, but I feel like I just like enjoy more moments with Anya a lot more, so it just makes it great. And I can't wait to see her like find out, because she already knows, but I want to see, you want to see those interactions happen.
I just want blonde, skinny, tall people to do good.
Yeah.
So I see Lloyd, and I'm like,
I'm not succeeding much in life, so I want them to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, yo, chill.
No, that's not what it means.
I get you.
I mean, I'm not doing much with mine.
What's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode is probably either when they first go to the school and they go do the interview, or
that's a good episode,
or the friendship scheme one, because it has Becky and Anya's like attempting, and I think it's also the episode where Lloyd's at the school like trying to help out.
Oh yeah, and at the end of the episode they take that picture, and he's like completely mortified. He's like, because she punched him, and Yora's so embarrassed because she taught him how to punch.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god,
it's such a great one. I think favorite episodes could go to one or two of them. But what's your favorite moment? I don't know if you already mentioned this.
My favorite moment, it's probably got to be when Lloyd. It's two. It's when Lloyd proposes, or it's when he tells that girl. Well, he tells that guy, I know where your daughter is. I know who she hangs out with, what school she goes to. If you want her to have even the semblance of a normal life, get the hell out of my way. I love the dialogue of that. Mwah. Perfect. Like even in the manga when I read that, I was like, oh my god, you know. But I also love, like, my favorite moments I think is when Lloyd is like, especially at the beginning when he lifts Anya up and then he realizes he relaxed for, like,
that's another one.
and he's like on the couch for like hours and he's like,
That
he's like,
first
I haven't
episode.
relaxed in like 10 years, you know. It's
Or like
crazy.
when Anya cuddles with him, it's like, God, you trying to kill me?
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you trying to kill me?
Oh yeah, and he was like, like like that's so funny. Or when he's like pointing her out and he's like, you're there,
And she's like,
you
he's
know?
so good at finding
Yeah,
me. Oh,
and it's
man.
like Papa's so good, you know.
Yeah.
Like I love the beginning episodes. I think the beginning episodes were the best episodes. But you know,
My
yeah.
3 favorite moment. I mean, this is not my favorite moment, but I'm gonna list 3 because they are. One of them is when Lloyd stands up for Yor at the dinner party.
Oh, that's nice.
Because like,
yeah.
when that crappy like lady is like who's trying to sabotage her, like ruin the dress and all that, and he shows up like all bleeding and like
Yeah.
huffing and puffing, and he stands up for her. It's such a great moment. My second favorite one is the scene where Lloyd does all this castle scene for her, where he dresses up as Bondman and rescues her.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, that's mainly like kind of the part of the episode.
I
not really
like
the moment.
the end of that episode too with the fireworks.
And my third favorite moment was like the very last moment is when Lloyd and Yor play with Anya, like, and they embarrass themselves in public for her.
Oh yeah,
It just wraps up the entirety of the show, even though it's not over. But you know, this arc
Yeah.
or this core very well and reminds you what it is.
We haven't talked about it, but the opening and ending are bangers,
Oh, yeah.
aren't they? Like when they're dancing together and stuff, like
Yeah.
at the ending. God, it's just so good. Like
The
the
first
opening
song-
and ending is so catchy.
The first song is called Peanuts,
yeah,
which is
of
really
course,
funny.
Of course, obviously.
So great. Wit,
Yeah.
Cloverworks, y'all did a great job.
You did a
Really great job.
good job. Like
Yeah.
and you made. I love it when anime does things where you didn't have to go so hard on this one part. You didn't have to go so hard on that one part where Anya's alone in the volleyball or in the game of dodgeball,
Charging
and,
up, yeah.
and charging up, and she's all alone and the wind's blowing, even though she's in a gym. And you're like, they didn't have to go this hard, but they did, and this is why I think it's like. I mean, we talked earlier about the Death Note adaptation. I think this is what makes anime its own art form. You just can't
So
do these
great. Yeah,
things.
absurd
You
and
just can't do
amazing,
'em.
out of this
Yeah.
world. It's great.
Yeah.
We said this for the billionth time, but check it out.
Yeah,
It's
do it.
absolutely phenomenal.
Do it. It's a
yeah,
lot of fun.
that
Check out the dub too. Like I said.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of my
The-
when I was a kid.
This
Hold on.
No, go ahead.
When I was a kid, I would go to watch Alex's shows and pick his acting techniques and use it. And so he has been my favorite, local performer for a long time.
The dub actor
and
for
he's-
Lloyd.
Yes,
Yeah.
the dub actor for Lloyd. So yeah, and I love him. I texted him congratulations when he got the role, and yeah, he's great.
I would text him, or it might be nosy, but I would text him just for all of us.
Yeah.
You did a great job. It was
Yeah.
a great show.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
phenomenal. You did fantastic, and I can't wait for more.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this dub, even the dub was so hyped because the show was so hyped.
Yeah.
There was a premiere like on Twitch with
Yeah,
thousands
yeah.
of people watching, looking forward to the dub because of the show. It was just that great.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I watched along with it, and it was fantastic. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I can't wait for more. So glad we're getting like another part in the fall. Another is going to be competing with a lot of stuff, but either way, everyone's going to be watching because we all want to see what happens.
I do
It's great.
think it will. I think it might be overshadowed, probably by everything. Like I think everything will be overshadowed by Chainsaw
Yeah.
Man,
I-
just because of the pure excitement of it. you
But I
know?
feel like Spy Family is a good one, as tense
Yeah.
as the moments can be. Will be a good one to fall back on. While like everything will be tense and hype and a lot of serious
Yes.
arcs, it will be like a, whew, I'm done with the day.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna relax. and
Mob
watch.
Psycho looks wild, bro.
Yeah.
Mob Psycho looks like it's gonna be a wild
Yeah.
ride. My Hero Academia enters in its
Yeah.
most tense arc ever, in the most important arc probably in the entire series.
I feel like people will still flock
Ooh,
to Spy Family
yes.
just to, it'll be what do you call it? Not a favorite, not a passive. comfort. It'll be a comfort show. It'll be the comfort show of that season, and people would just fall back to it and just watch it.
I hope that they get to a point where it's not comfort and it is tense always.
No, I just mean in terms of Porky Pig over here.
No, I get
in terms of just watchability and just like to be able to relax and enjoy the vibes of the show. And I do agree with you. I hope it gets to that point too. But I know as a manga reader, it isn't. So it'll be that. It'll be that for now.
Great.
In this season.
Awesome.
Check it out. We get to talk about a series for one time. Isn't that great?
Have we never talked about a series?
We haven't done it in a while. Not
since Attack on Titan, I don't think.
Yeah.
Season 4.
Well, this is for anime. We talked about an entire manga series, One Piece, a while ago.
Well, yeah, and we talked about Dr. Stone and Fire Force. So we've talked about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have any news? Sorry, quick. Do we have any news on the Fire Force anime? Because
No.
I'm so excited.
I was waiting for a trailer for this Anime Expo, so but I don't even think they announced the year of when it'll come out, so we still don't know.
I'm just so excited.
I am anxious, waiting for it. Come on, please.
Yeah, dude.
It's so great.
I'm very excited. After finishing the manga, I'm like, dude, I'm so excited for this.
I want more Soul Eater. I want a Soul Eater adaptation again. Come on, please.
You might get it at the end of Fire Force.
Because there's a lot of we definitely will, because people will be hyped up by the end of Fire Force. Who knows what we'll be talking about next in terms of big subjects?
Well, we know what we're talking about for the next 4 weeks or 3 weeks at least.
What?
So Edgar, in 4 weeks, Dragon Ball Super Superhero comes out. So next week, we're going to be reviewing the Battle of Gods film, and we're going to watch it just before the podcast, and we'll talk about it on there.
Well, will we talk about the podcast? I thought that was going to be a Shonen Junk episode.
It can be. I mean, it can be.
I thought you wanted to, or whatever. I mean, you can do whichever. But I meant in terms of talking about a series that we're watching, reading.
Oh yeah.
Not like movies, like for the the videos. Whatever.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just
something
just
like
overall.
that we're reading, like Soul Eater or Black Clover.
Yeah, but I mean, we are called the Manga Monday Show, so most of our things are going to be from stuff that we read.
Yeah.
But it's great to just sit back and watch a great series like this.
By the way, in terms of that, so there's Battle of the Gods and there's Broly. Well, you said there's 3.
There's Battle of Gods, the Resurrection of F, where Frieza comes back, and then there's Broly. So there's 3.
Cool.
And then if you guys like it and you guys liked it, we'll do an extra one, which will be
I feel like what
funny.
would probably be best is watch them obviously one at a time.
Yeah.
Make videos for those, and if I don't know how you want. We'll discuss on how to do it.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna say watch them and then talk about them on one podcast episode in prep or something like that, and then put them in separate videos for the thing. But I don't know how that's gonna work because that's gonna be too much.
I mean,
probably.
we haven't done. I think since these Dragon Ball movies happened 2 to 3 years, I think leading up to it would be good. Because we haven't really done a lot. Like, we haven't done a lot of Dragon Ball. We haven't done a lot of stuff.
Well, because
like
I have no.
You're right. You're right.
To put it frankly, I have no interest in it. So so this is just gonna be a ride, I guess.
It'll be good. It'll be a good thing for someone who isn't as big of a fan for Dragon Ball to watch this stuff. But it'll be good for you because this is the only information you really need before Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So,
yeah. All right. And